State Representative Beth Dolio, who's a Democrat representing the 22nd Legislative District, she sends out an email to some of her fellow lawmakers and then some stakeholders in this issue, reminding them about what's coming up in her bill, House Bill 1589. The issue is that House Bill 1589 is about weaning the state off of natural gas. So think about that for a second. We're in the middle of this cold snap, all this is going on, and she's focused on sending out emails about this bill that would put us in an even more difficult position by saying, okay, we're going to do the opposite of diversify our energy needs, and we're going to, into the future, restrict the kind of energy that you can use, which in a cold snap like this would be absolutely devastating. Poor Jan. We literally caught her this morning to tape between meetings in Olympia, and she, I guess it's kind of fitting for the story, she stood outside in the cold and talked to us about this email.
We think it's completely heartless, or maybe not completely, but a bit heartless and a bit obtuse to suggest this on the coldest day of the year across the state while people are cold and without energy. Why would we remove an energy source from our grid system, which is clearly over capacity now? We should be thinking about how to add new energy sources so that we can keep residents warm and safe and alive in cold snaps across our state.
Yeah, we say this as Jan's freezing her butt off outside the Capitol, reporting from, sorry, there's no gas heat there to keep you warm. We will keep this brief. I guess there is a little bit of tone deafness where when people are freezing, we've been told, limit your use, to send out this email about a bill that, would strip people of options, essentially. I guess, if our system today, if natural gas was not an option today, what do you think the impact would be?
Well, I think that most of our state this weekend would be cold and out of power and not be able to turn stuff on. There's a lot of options here, but we didn't have enough power with natural gas this weekend. We just didn't. And our entire state's grid had that capacity issue. And so people will be cold, people will die. What happens when people are cold, they are willing to do anything to warm up. And when you are really cold, that means you do some not the wisest things for your health. So you are starting those wood stoves that we have made an effort to reduce because they produce a particulate matter in the air, which is not healthy necessarily. So we're going to move back to wood stoves, or wood stoves that haven't been in use for years and years. Or people are going to do something even dumber or even worse for their health and pull stuff into their house and barbecues and have CO poisoning. It happens when we have cold snaps because people get so cold they're willing to do anything and don't realize the health risks that they have. We really need to protect our energy sources and ensure that people can stay warm and healthy when it's freezing cold outside.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Just to play devil's advocate, they're talking about this transformational change to the system, and I've seen numbers about, to 2050, which is a long way away. Are they working on anything that would strengthen the system, in the eventuality that you take away those options?
There's a lot of conversation about, expanding wind power and solar panel, and those are all reasonable options to expand capacity and grid options. The issue is they are also not consistent sources of power, and so they're not reliable. On Saturday and Sunday, our wind power went down to nothing. Wind wasn't blowing. And so how do you create energy when the load is high because people are turning up their thermostat because it's 17 degrees outside? There's a consistency issue. Solar is not working when it's dark outside, and it's dark in the winter months. And so you're not producing as much power as you can in solar. It's sunny right now, but it gets dark early, so you have less of a window to produce actual consistent power through those issues. I think there's lots of conversations about renewable natural gas and getting those things working. So we're not only reducing our carbon load, which is an important piece of the puzzle, but we're expanding capacity with consistent, reliable energy sources. And when we don't need consistent, reliable energy, let's ramp up our use of the carbon-free options. But we also have this conversation around hydropower, which is cheap and affordable and reliable power too. And taking out dams removes pieces of that too. So this is a big, broad policy. We should be not removing pieces of energy from our system. And this weekend was a prime example of why we can't do that.
Yeah, and it does seem like there's this pattern of cart before the horse, ideally let's do this, but let's do it now before we're ready. And it just seems like not good governance. We'll end with this. What impact, if this bill passes this year, 1589, what impact does it have on home builders?
It means that long term, or the idea is to have remove an obligation to serve by 2050. So it means that houses built today will not be able to put natural gas in, because changing sort of the guts and the infrastructure of a house from a natural gas system to full electricity is more than just changing out the appliances. It requires sort of rewiring a house and repiping, I would say. So that's a $40,000 in changeover. So new homes now, or houses that are being built now, will not have access to that consistent power, because we don't want to set up future homeowners to have to go back and remodel their house. 25 years seems like a long time away. 26 years, it's not that far away.
Yeah.
That's a quick turnover, and in the life of a house especially.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, Jan, I think this is hilarious, and if I can set this up for people before we let you go, we made you set up your phone on a building and stand in the dirt to get this shot of the Capitol behind you.
That's right.
So I love that
But
some
it's
people.
so pretty.
I love that some people are looking at this crazy lady talking to a wall, standing in the dirt right now. Weirdo.
That's right.
No, I know you've got hearings and stuff and testimony to do today. We do appreciate you taking a few minutes
Absolutely.
between them to talk to us.
Thank you so much, Brandi.